Looks like a line.
Oh, whoa.
It's kind of like a vagina ear.
That's going to be the first thing on the audio and the video.
I got
It's like
multiple
a
things.
vagina ear.
Yeah.
We'll talk about my ears in a second, my pain.
Yeah.
But I was trying to watch some comedy last night because, like, I'm always fucking around, you know, like designing or like emailing, whatever, at like 8 at night when I slowly unwind. So I always put on bullshit. We've talked about this. I didn't know it was a thing, but now mental health's like a category of content creation. You know, they're like ADHD things that you didn't know were ADHD things or whatever. And some of them do kind of make sense. Like, or anxiety. One's an anxiety disorder thing where like you'll watch the same shows all the time when you're trying to relax because you know exactly what's about to happen. And
Yeah.
I've done that my entire life.
Yeah, yeah. It's a comfort.
Yeah, right. Because then you don't have to pay attention and you're not worried. Because like it's fun to worry. Like it's fun to get excited. But like at 8 at night when I'm chilling, long story short, I turn on the new Cat Williams.
There's a new Cat Williams?
And he is so not funny.
I was going to say, wasn't he canceled a while back?
I don't know.
Like,
Well, I know
he rise from the cancellation dead or what?
Well, I know he stole a scooter from a man here in Sacramento. Ended up in like Yuba jail.
Yeah.
Which is
I think it was
wild.
an ATV.
Yeah, maybe. He like stole some kind of small vehicular from a human here in Sac and went to jail. But he was like saying like just like the dumbest comedy. And he said something like, no Gina's bad, Gina. And then like the crowd laughs. And I'm like,
That's a problem when you get your own crew.
yeah, it's
people who
so
are-
bad.
People who will laugh at anything you say and will buy anything you say. And
Well,
whatever.
because like
It's
his
hard.
tone, and his tone's the exact same. His very first special ever, I did giggle at.
The green suit one?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
he's dressed the same, but now it's black jeans, and then he still has his stool, and he's still hopping around. Like his gimmick's the exact
Well,
same.
he's a very physical comedian.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he gets quite explicit when he's talking about Gina, and he uses the word Gina only. But I don't know where I was going. Oh, gauging my ears.
Yeah, or you're talking about just finding comfort in watching the same stuff.
That's
Gauging-
true,
gauging
too.
Your ears.
So I gauged my ears in high school, and I stopped at whatever number they say your shit will shrink back at.
Okay.
Right, which is like a 4 or a 2 or something, right?
I can't recall.
But that's something like that is where I
Yeah,
stopped because
yeah.
I didn't want all that.
Yeah.
And then I thought they fully shrunk, but then I tried to wear like normal human earrings, which are like 16 gauge or something, and the back of it started to dig into my hole and get infected,
Ooh.
right? Because metal's like in my hole.
Yeah.
In your ear hole. Just to be
in my ear slit.
just
My
to be
ear, my ear Gina.
Yeah. And so
yeah,
then
Cat Williams would definitely call it your ear gina.
Yeah. So then I'm like, well, I have to gauge them again then because I want to wear some jewelry, but I can't wear normal shit. And so I bought the whole kit from like 16 to like 0 of the stretchers.
How far are you gonna go?
Well, so I started just throwing them in there, and it's, you know, for lack of a Gina joke, the hot dog down a hallway.
Yeah.
I'm throwing all these things, and none of them are sticking. And so I'm at and I haven't like stretched them yet. They're at a 6. So they like only really shrunk one size from when I was 18. And I probably won't go anywhere. I don't want something crazy. But the whole goal was to be able to wear an earring 24/7 because I'll just never forget to or remember to put them in and out. So I need to be able to put like some rubber or stone or like those.
Oh, dude, I used to
earrings.
have like the jade.
I like that.
I had the tiger's eye.
Yeah, I want a tiger's eye.
I had all the fucking shit.
You're
dude.
not going to put them back in?
I could probably put maybe like a 6 in.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
what you should do.
But
A little
that's
tiger's eye. I want a little tiger's eye or like a little green emerald deal.
Yeah, the jade was my go-to.
Yeah.
I really like the jade.
I think that's cool. And the stone you can keep in. It's not going to get infected. It's not going to
Yeah,
get
the problem
weird.
with is like the rubber things. You always lose the washers, right? And I have to go to the hardware. So I worked at the hardware store even when I was younger, and I would just go to the little nuts and bolts section, get some new O-rings.
That's funny. O-rings in your slit?
Dude, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now I got these now I got these perma holes.
Is that the only piercings you have?
Yeah.
Is
Yes.
that too private of a question?
Yeah, no. I have a Prince Albert.
Yeah.
And that's
in-
it.
in a
Yeah.
can.
Just some mild stuff.
That's very powerlifter of you.
Yeah. That is a very powerlifter thing.
And
Is a Prince
powerlifting's like
Albert.
so different now. Now
Old
it's all,
school powerlifting.
Yeah, now it's all clean cut, and they probably have like little like earrings are cool again. I feel like all the guys are wearing like studs again.
Yeah,
You
earrings
know,
are
like
back.
little like fake diamonds or real diamonds.
The what I think you should do is get those those like stainless steel loops with the ball on it, the very like Disturbed.
Oh, the Prince
like,
Albert looking ones.
The guy like
Yeah.
like the lead singer of Disturbed would wear.
So that's kind
those
of
heavy boys.
That's kind of why I gauged.
Those are kind of sick.
No, they're sick. That's kind of why I gauged my earrings in the first place. Like, you're a little bit similar to me in some senses, although you were way more into the skate culture, which was like gauges and stuff. I was so into the hip hop basketball culture. I was like, oh, this is so opposite.
Yeah, you don't really see any gauged earrings on the court.
And now there's a couple probably hip hop artists with some gauges and stuff, and everything's mixed now. Like we talked about in the Tony Hawk documentary, like the culture of skating and hip hop, it's all the same now.
Yeah, now
but
it's
back
like
then it was black and white, literally. And if you were into like basketball and hip hop, no way would you wear gauges. And I always thought that was cool. I was like, well, I'm gonna fucking do it all. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman.
Rodman was he was the outlier, right?
He was watching the WWE.
He's got those thick silver boys.
I love him.
Yeah, those are sick.
He's
He
probably
makes
got a
them
Prince
look sick.
Albert too, for all we know.
Oh, 100%. He's still rocking the tongue ring.
Yeah. I would never do all that, but
So my wife has like that ear piercing. I don't know.
I didn't know where you were gonna.
Yeah, she has her whatever it's called pierced.
No,
Yeah.
you can't say whatever, dude, because this is a lot of audio, not video. You have to be more
what's
specific.
it called?
You're in trouble now.
Labia piercing. What are those called? I can't remember what it's called.
I hope you're.
The top of your ear.
I'm embarrassed for me, not even you, and I hope she doesn't listen to this.
She'll be fine. She doesn't really though. But it's like a tongue ring, almost like shape, like the long one, right? But it's like at the top.
Oh, yeah, those are cool. Those
Yeah.
are cool.
An industrial. So she's had it.
Why do they need names like that?
I like how the name industrial is kind of sick.
I don't like it. It feels too sexy.
Yeah, yeah. I've always liked it though, because like she had it when it was like in style when she was like 16. She got
Yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah.
a bad
And
bitch when
and
she
now
was 16.
now she's 30 and never took it out. So now it's back in style.
Right.
So like she went from it being in style, rode out the dark days,
Yeah.
and now it's back in style. And everybody's
No,
like, "Oh, she's so hip."
Yeah, I like that. No, I do like that. That's kind of why I'm gauging right now, because like all the 90s, early 2000s is back, but gauging isn't back right now.
Not really, no.
So who's bringing it
Except
back?
for like some of those powerlifter kids, maybe some like kids
For
that
sure.
just aren't letting the emo screamo scene die.
Yeah, the difference is I still don't shop at Hot Topic, and they
Well,
haven't
Hot
left.
Topic's kind of more of like a Spencer's now, right? It's not even like the same.
Oh,
Yeah, probably.
oh man. Ooh.
Both are bad. They were.
People are hurting over that. Right
Well,
now.
at Hot Topic, you used to be kind of scared to go into Hot Topic.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, like
yeah.
I'm not like
Yeah.
it used to be kind of an intimidating thing. Now you go in there, and it's kind of like
Yeah.
Well,
because there's like dildos on the wall.
yeah, it's more like funny now and like jokey humor, gag stuff. Where it used to be like, oh, you go in there and like someone might try and like steal some of your blood and like drink it later.
Yeah.
So now the dildo is like one of those singing basses, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a
it's
it's got
a-
like a switchblade in it before, and now it's saying
You're not gonna bump into Ben Claridad in there anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna.
just trying
Whoa,
to kill
excuse
you.
me, yeah.
He's got blood dripping from his eye for no reason.
Jesus.
Quick break from our sponsor. Yeah, bye. Hit it. How good was that?
That was good.
Not my best segue,
That was good.
but not my worst. You know what I loved about this movie? So what first came to mind is that I loved this movie when it came out, and so I was probably 18 years old.
You've already watched this?
I owned it on DVD. I bought it for
Oh my
$3
Okay.
on the used Blockbuster thing.
Okay.
And we paid $3
To watch it.
To watch it
Once.
Now, well,
Inflation.
you can watch it as many times as you want in 48 days or something like
48
that.
hours.
48 hours.
Yeah, that's
No.
You have like
trash.
30
I-
days to watch it.
There are not 48 hours of my life ever that I would watch this movie more than once. in.
No, you hated it?
No.
It got
I-
really good rankings.
I didn't love it. I understand why it got good rankings. I
Yeah.
didn't love it. There are reasons why I didn't love
All
it.
right, we'll dig in.
We can get into that.
The reason, what surprises me rewatching it now, 17 years later, is that ADHD Mikey at 18 could sit through it, because it is slow. It's not like made like nowadays documentaries are made like action films, right?
Yeah.
They're made like an hour-long TikTok to grab your attention and shot and news and move. And this thing is just him sitting there talking,
Yeah.
which is why I'm surprised, but I still loved it.
I had to really remember that 2008 wasn't yesterday.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
we're talking what, 14 years ago?
Some of the
Like, that's
edits,
a long time.
Some of the edits were kind of corny.
Oh my god! And also, like, I was so confused with why is he talking over himself with these like layered cuts, and I'm like, I get maybe this is supposed to like symbolize his mind is like
Right.
all over the place, but it was like almost like I don't know what part to. I don't know what mic to listen to here. Like, what Tyson am I listening to?
It reminded me of two things. One of them, I don't know if you ever saw. This is before your time, Mike, for sure. And well, actually,
Dean's
both
my
of you.
same age. Yeah,
It's both of you.
He just acts more mature.
The movie.
That's not true at all.
Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
No clue.
I don't think I've seen that.
Okay, so kind of a famous movie. A lot of people who became very big stars. James Spader's in it and whatever.
I don't even know who that is.
A lot of it
I
was.
pretended to. Oh yeah.
Who else? Who else did I tell you?
Who the fuck's James Spader?
James Spader is the Blacklist.
Miss me.
Oh, okay. James Spader from The Office. Mr.
Yeah,
Robert
I guess
California.
I guess maybe he was in The Office.
I haven't seen The
I never
Office
watched
either.
The Office
Yeah, me
at
neither.
all.
Oh, that's insane.
I've
Yeah,
never seen it either.
Not my thing.
What?
I saw it like when it first
Who in
came
a
out.
room with?
Kyle watches the fuck out of it.
Oh God, it's so good.
Yeah, I don't watch it.
Some people can't handle the
Cringe.
cringe of it.
Yeah.
It's intense. My wife can't watch it either.
Yeah,
She's
I'm
like,
not a fan.
she's like, I can't. This is just too uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's super uncomfortable. Anyway,
Sorry, yeah, off topic.
part of the interview style of this movie. I mean, it's a fictional film, but it's supposed to be like all this stuff's recorded, but it's not supposed to really be released or whatever. And people are sitting there just talking, and so it feels like that. And then there's other movie that came out in 2000 called Time Code. Time Code.
Justin Timberlake?
No.
Just kidding.
Had-
you know that time movie you did?
No.
What?
Justin Timberlake
Where
did
he
like
jumps around
Yeah, something.
dimensions or like
Yeah,
areas.
I don't know.
I have no
I
idea.
remember. I know what you're talking about though. God.
I have no
I
idea.
think it was called Time.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Anyway, Time Code had 4 quadrants on the screen
The whole time.
the whole time.
Oh, okay.
And there were 4 different stories running at the same time.
I kind of like that.
And they, at some points, they kind of overlap, but not entirely. And the question is, like, which one are you going to follow?
They're talking at the same time too?
Fuck yeah.
No, I couldn't follow. There's no way my brain
Your
does
brain,
that.
yeah, that's true. Not everybody, but
Yeah,
some people
my
can
brain's
like
fucked.
you can blink out the noise and kind of follow one screen. It's like you're watching like a 4 players playing like a
Yeah,
N64.
Halo. If
Yeah.
they did that with Lord of the Rings, it'd be a half-an-hour movie.
That might be the next level of,
Yeah.
of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I just couldn't unfocus all of it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
At least the Mike Tyson, or with Tyson, we're covering the movie Tyson from 2008, folks. Those little effects were like 10 seconds.
yeah, they were short.
It wasn't like the whole time. Yeah.
But I understand what they were trying to do, but it was very avant-garde, and there was too much of it.
Yeah. No, yeah. And that being said, there's probably only 3 of them, and I agree there's still too much of them.
It was a very, very 2000, early 2000s vibe.
Yeah, it was
to
an
the- to
iMovie.
the whole thing.
It was an iMovie edit.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that they were, yes, if they were trying to show like short attention span, confusion, whatever, they didn't necessarily use it at the times that he was portraying himself as the most confused.
Right. Or emotional.
Or emotional. Yeah.
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 What I do absolutely love, my big take, is that Mike Tyson is so different than me because he literally has 0 filters.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
0. And people like listening might be like, Mike, you don't have a lot of filters. Like, no, trust me, I do. What's going on in the domicile is highly filtered before it comes out, highly curated.
Yeah.
He has 0 filters. And and there's mental health. There's probably obviously upraising, which they dig into, personality, stardom, all that. Like, he's been famous as shit since he was 17, let alone his crazy upbringing, and maybe other mental issues. Literally 0 filters, and it's kind of charming to me.
Yeah, well, it's something you don't see every day, so it's kind of almost refreshing. But you're almost like, man, like this guy's just had an insane life.
No, insane.
my feeling about that is I don't need to know that much. I don't need to know as much as he's telling me. I don't need to know.
It got real fucking weird a few times.
Yeah.
Like talking about how he wants to he watches women, and then gives him about what he was like super specific about, like, oh, I give him about 30 minutes of watching him before I want to pounce him. And
I
like,
wanted to
and I put her on the counter and I gave her fellatio in the bathroom. I'm like,
I love
dude, I have a moment for you. That's not what that word means.
yeah. What kind of is it a woman you're giving?
I followed her
fellatio
into the
to?
bathroom and gave her fellatio. I'm like,
It's just
he's just trying to be like, maybe he's like trying not to sound as like aggressive, but it's just like coming off as just more creepy.
I absolutely again love him. I don't know how to like some things I just can't quote here, and some things that like I feel uncomfortable laughing at, but they're laughable to me. One which is like creepy but like laughable in hindsight. Two big ones stand out. The gonorrhea conversation.
He's fighting through it.
Oh my god!
And he's like so he fights a championship fight with gonorrhea, and he's like and he's so like innocent.
Gonorrhea was not his opponent,
but he's so innocent. You know, he's like, I was scared to go to the doctor. I was shy, and I was like, yeah, man, like I get that. And then he's like, I don't know if it's a and he just doesn't hesitate. He's too shy to go to a doctor with an illness, but he's not too shy to tell you that he's been sleeping with prostitutes or his quotes, a filthy woman.
Yeah, he was like,
yes.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I think he said like I wasn't even like sleeping with prostitutes. I think I was just sleeping with a woman who's just a real slut. Essentially,
yeah. I literally said
like,
filthy woman slut, and then in my mind I'm like, you're the one who's a world champion with gonorrhea.
Yeah,
who's filthy?
Yeah.
Well, it's the lack of what's the word, right?
All of it. Self-awareness.
Lack of self-awareness.
And it's just so 90s how he speaks. The other one, which is like sad, but again, like laughable. Please don't cancel me, dear listeners. So he's talking about the rape case.
Yeah.
And he said, I wouldn't even touch that woman and all these things. He said, I didn't even do nothing to her and like all these things. And then he's like, I've done it to other girls.
Yeah.
He says something like that.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say like I raped another woman, but he basically says he slips in that like, oh, I might have like mistreated and assaulted other women, but I didn't do nothing to this particular one, who I think was Miss African America, Miss America,
I think she
Africa America or something. Was Black America?
Was that her in that video where he was in that studio?
I think so.
Yeah.
Where he just kind of basically just sexually assaults her on camera.
But did you hear the cues from off cam? They say like, play with them, and he's like, okay,
and he
then he
just goes up
grabs
behind her and just grabbing her like like groin and like
This is what I mean. Like I don't know.
Vanessa Williams. Yeah.
No.
No.
That was the
famous one was Robin something. I only know his wife from
the wife
Fresh
was,
Prince. She was one of the crazy girlfriends in Fresh Prince.
Yeah, she was a regular on Head of the Class.
That part, but there's also this thing about him where you like, because he's so, like you said, just kind of says what he means and says what he's thinking, that you believe everything he says.
Yeah, true. Who knows? Yeah,
but who knows? Maybe he did do that. Maybe he did
for sure
beat up the girl, the wife,
the Robin
Gibbons.
But even her.
But the way he talks about it, you almost like, man, maybe he didn't.
Yeah. No, that's what I
don't know.
That's what I feel like. He's so innocently unfiltered.
You can't believe him though, because he'll say one thing affirmatively one direction, and then a completely opposite thing affirmatively the other direction.
Yeah.
Like so about the woman that accused him of rape and that he was convicted of raping or whatever. He talks about what a terrible person she is, and then before he's done talking about her, he's flipped around saying about how nice she is.
Yeah, and how they're like close or something.
It's like, what? Like, wait.
Well, you're saying that they were watching their show, they were watching their trial on TV together in bed?
Yeah.
That was weird.
And like now, in hindsight, or not hindsight, but like we know any celebrity hood, weird shit's going on, right? Like you look at this Johnny Depp thing.
Yeah.
And we don't have to dive in. But you know what I mean? You're like, these humans are different brained than us.
It's different. Yeah. Like when you have that kind
like
of
that's
money
believable,
and power
right?
and
Yeah.
statue, like you just get into weird shit apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's also
us normies don't know.
No, I don't. Yeah, I can't relate. I can't even get a date, let alone fucking get a trial with my wife and watch it in bed.
It's Desiree Washington.
Oh, that sounds familiar too. I don't know, dude. I know. There's something like charming about it too, but then again, not humorous, but humorous to me.
It's the shit that worked for oh my god, what's the name of the movie? The Vegas movie that he was in.
Hangover?
Hangover. It's the thing that worked in Hangover. It's like you don't know exactly where you stand with him because he's all over the place all the time.
Which is
He's
probably very true.
Completely stream of consciousness all the time.
Yeah.
All
and
the
he's
time.
still like that. You listen to his podcast or some of his interviews, and he's not as like violent speaking, but something's just like so. He is kind of, and he says it in. I was talking to Jim weeks ago about his interview with Rogan. He says something like he gets along with tigers because he's also like a cat or something. Like we're the same, and when he's kind of like that. Like this thing's gonna be eating catnip for a second, and then next thing it's gonna claw you in the fucking eyeball.
Well, you look at him like you would look at a pit bull. Like you know that most of them are good and they're usually just mistreated, but you just don't know what it's gonna do.
No, and this one's mistreated. He just wants to cuddle once. Yeah. Yeah, it's scary.
So I saw a comment recently. Someone said that because he did the ayahuasca ego death thing,
he's done it all.
And now it's just like listening to a toddler talk.
But that's
he
what
also eats mushrooms every day.
Yeah, no, I feel even when he's talking here that it's a toddler talk.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
that's what
like-
I was going to say. I don't. How much of a change is that?
Yeah,
really?
that's clearly
14 years ago. Yeah.
and it's like easy to like joke about or push aside, but that is like the mental health issue, right? Like he had just such an insane, shitty childhood.
I feel like everyone has exploited this guy because he is. Now, I mean, he was a good fighter because he was just fucking fierce.
Yeah.
He just was crazy fierce, and the moment that he lost that, he couldn't win.
Yeah, I think the only person that maybe didn't exploit him, although they did kind of, is Cuss. At least Cuss cared.
Cuss cared. Yeah, actually, I'm going to come back to that in a second. But Don King is somebody else. He actually talked complete shit about Don King.
No,
and
yeah.
then
That-
flips
that's
around
the
and is
one.
like, "Oh yeah, we were partners."
No,
or
he's
whatever.
like he's a pretty good guy.
yeah. It's like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
He like either. I don't know. I'm the kind of guy that if I hate somebody, I fucking hate them forever. There's no like not hating them.
I wonder with his mind and how his mind works. So maybe is that he can kind of time travel.
Yeah.
Like in the modern,
It's
like right now, sitting right here, he can time travel to the good times he had with people, and then the bad times, and be in that moment.
like
but in this,
I thought about that too. Where he's like,
Tyson Slaughterhouse 5.
no,
Yeah.
literally from one sentence he's thinking about how Don stole his money, and then the next moment he's thinking the time Don bought him a sandwich.
yeah,
And then the other thing I think that happens why he speaks so back and forth is that I literally think he just talks, and then the very next sentence his filter does kind of show up. Where like, you know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, Don King's a piece of shit. I'll fucking kill him. And then like,
And he, like, thinks
and then
about
he's
that.
like, well, he's not that bad of a guy. Like he doesn't want to ruin his career. And you're like, what the fuck?
yeah.
So-
He's constantly in this like, of this personal internal struggle of like trying to say more positive things, but he can't help himself sometimes.
I think that's what it is.
And
That's
back-
what again, like, it's kind of charming, like not charming in like a.
well, you feel bad for him. You want to hold. You want to.
Yeah,
give him a hug.
I do. I want to give him a hug, and I kind of like him. Yeah, I do kind of like him.
I would not.
Just watch
just-
your ear.
I-
Just watch your ear.
I thought he straight bit that thing and spit it off. No, because
No, he did. He on the
they
second
just
time he
didn't
bit it.
show it really.
Yeah, they didn't show.
They didn't show it.
When they kept showing it, it looked like it was just kind of a nibble. It looked like a love
The
bite.
first one he bit it, and it was kind of like hanging there, and then the second time he bit it off.
Because
and
what was that?
spit
That
it
fight
out.
was 1998. I mean, we were fucking 10.
Yeah, I remember it though because my dad was watching. Because my dad would
Oh,
always
really?
have everybody over at our house because my dad was like a huge boxing fan and was until he passed. And he just loved boxing. He's like the one of 5 people still watching boxing.
Yeah.
You know, like paying for it.
Yeah, the 2000s.
You know, and like, long story short, everybody was at our house always for the big fights, the big pay-per-views, and I just remember that moment in time.
You see, I don't.
When that happened, everybody was just like so blown away that was like even happened, that it was like you can't forget that.
I remember the jokes and the memes and stuff. A lot of that weird stuff happened to us, like the early memes. I feel like in our generation, like the Michael Jackson pedophilia memes, the R. Kelly. Like you're a kid, so you don't really know what's going on, and it does just become a joke because a lot of it's just like hearsay, you know. And so I feel like the ear was kind of like that. But what I didn't know is all the headbutt, dirty play.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
We
part
almost
either.
like-
And who knows, right? This is obviously from the perspective of Tyson.
yeah,
and his
because I didn't
team.
actually see that happening either.
Well, Holyfield.
Oh,
was
in the video?
Yeah,
Oh, I
didn't-
saw a little bit.
That
For
was a thing with Holyfield. That's like a known thing. That he was a kind of a dirty, very head forward. Like he'd bang you up with his head
Yeah.
to get you cut, and that was kind of a tactic he always did. That's people didn't like him because of that.
Yeah, makes sense.
It was a known thing that he would do,
yeah, it makes sense.
but Mike Tyson just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, when
obviously.
he's smaller. What was the very last fight? I forgot the dude's name. Were they buddies?
Lewis.
Dude, Lennox Lewis was 6'5".
And then Lewis was a
And
beast.
in the picture of the weigh-ins or whatever, the video where Tyson kind of steps to him, Tyson looks like he's 5'2". He looks like a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they almost fight at the thing.
Yeah.
And then he's like petting his face.
Yeah.
After
Knock
the
the
fight.
blood off. So
it's
awkward.
like such a bipolar situation.
Yeah. I mean, obviously mental health. Obviously, like, just he gets so, which probably made him great. He gets so zoned into probably just like bowl seeing red when it's fight time, and then after that, he is, lack of a better term, a nice guy.
Yeah, the back to Customato for a second though. He was talking about all the things that Custa tried to teach him and how he tried to make him more of a gentleman and all this business. And I thought, well, where would he have been had he not?
Oh, he would probably murder people.
Yeah,
no, for sure. I do, and everyone says, obviously, what do I know? It's just documentaries that I watch, but everyone says that Cuss was really good for him and really truly cared. Even just having a family dinner for someone like that, I feel like is such a good, healthy step, compared to him being on the roof with his pigeons for 5 years.
Yeah, I think that there's always, maybe there's always some kind of, maybe this is just the pessimist in me, but there's always he had to have some benefit from this, right? Like some personal thing he wanted to do to achieve through Mike Tyson. But I think in the big picture, I think he wanted to help him also, though.
If Tyson was a bad fighter, Cuss isn't bringing him to dinner.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
But I mean, there was no denying his power compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
Especially at that early ages, this guy was a freak.
Yeah, and you see him when he first meets Cuss, he's like 17, 18. He's like he's built like me now at 33.
Dude, he was a monster.
Yeah, like jacked.
Just genetic 200
anomaly. Pounds at 17, just fucking
crazy.
Yeah.
I thought it was super interesting about the stuff though with him being so afraid of getting beat up and being bullied all the time.
Yeah.
That it turned him into this absolute killing machine.
His story, and again, it's not good, but his story about beating the guy up, the grown man that hurt his pigeon, is just so charming to me for some reason. He's like, it was a grown man. He's like, I just fucking beat the shit out of him. I was like, Jesus.
After he snapped its neck.
Yeah, that's
right in
fucking
front of him.
weird.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah, well,
So
I
fuck
kind of
that
said
guy.
that would be, you would be mad and you would want to do something right away.
Yeah, it's crazy. I should have brought it. Missed opportunity. I have these, they're from the 90s. I still have them from when I was a kid. My dad bought them or somebody bought them. They're the, remember when Beanie Babies were huge?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they made the bad Beanie Babies. Bad was another brand that made them. Anyways, one of them's called Mike Bison.
Oh no, dude, that's probably eBay gold. Dude.
And it's Mike Tyson with a bison head, and he's got an ear hanging out of his mouth.
Oh my god!
I'll take a picture of it and I'll send it to you guys.
That's probably worth
$100,000. And you
$100,000.
can clip it into the maybe be the show art.
That's
But then I have another one that's Dennis Rodman, and it's like a praying mantis.
That's weird.
But it's got the hair, the earrings, the red and hair, but it's like a Beanie Baby, but he's praying mantis with Dennis Rodman's head.
We haven't done.
They're badass.
I haven't done a Rodman thing here, right?
No.
Rodman's. I think it's a 30 for 30. I get confused for that. And what's the other one? E60 or something.
E60s, yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of the same, but they're different. I don't know. One of them is a Rodman one. It's so good. It's so good. Maybe we should do that. Rodman's so interesting.
So a point that we were having last night is, which one are we watching? So this is the Tyson from 2008, or sometimes credited at 2009. Yeah. But there's a shit ton of documentary stuff on this guy.
Yeah.
And there's narrative fictionalized.
What's the new one?
Well.
A new one's coming, right? Jamie Foxx. I bet you it's gonna be fucking good.
Yeah, that's gonna be probably really good.
Jamie Foxx is so good. I'm a huge fan.
That's gonna be good.
He's getting all jacked right now for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be good.
That's probably gonna be insane.
I don't know why.
How old is Jamie Foxx now, though?
Not young, 50-something.
Yeah, maybe they're gonna do his later career.
So Tyson
maybe.
is 50-something.
Or a little makeup, and just fucking.
Or do nowadays they just do that age?
Yeah. What's it? A vampire makeover or something?
Fucking yeah.
Yeah. They inject some kind of weird blood in you.
Well, they just edit your face on this.
They'll be fine.
Post.
They for some reason, so boxing's in my family. My great uncle was a pro boxer. Fought for the belt a couple times in I don't even know, the 30s or 40s type shit, and he's a 100-pound dude. His brother, these are my grandpa's brothers, the Italian side, was also a pro boxer, and I've looked up some of his records. I have his portrait in my house, and it's it's like a family legacy. It's fucking sick, dude.
That's cool.
It's so cool. 30s, 40s, 50s. Type era, but you look at their records, and I don't know the years, but he's 180, he's fought 200 fights.
Wow.
And so, like, you think of, like, that boxing versus the now boxing, but similar. My dad wasn't a huge boxing fan, but he was more of a boxing fan than I was. But for some reason, I never grew up watching it. Maybe because we just missed the era, right? Like, if we grew up in the 80s or 90s and we got Muhammad and
I didn't like
shit.
watching it.
Yeah, I was never
into it.
Never into it. But for some reason, Tyson and Ali have always been two of my favorite athletes of all time. Especially Ali. Like, I'm a big Ali fan, and I've watched all the documentaries. I've done all the books. Every year at the weird school I went to, you basically have like a big end year report, and a lot of times it can kind of be on anything as long as it gets like passed. I did like a fucking half an hour speech about Muhammad Ali, and again, I don't know if I've ever bought a pay-per-view boxing match in my life.
Yeah,
but for some
boxing,
reason,
no. But obviously UFC.
UFC, I watched a lot more. Because I watched WWE. And then The Rock and Stone Cold kind of fluttered out. And then me and my dad kind of moved to UFC together in, like, I guess 2002. WEC type shit, kind of early. And I'm not a mega fan. I guess I'd consider myself a casual fan that's just watched it for a long time. But there's, but there's something about, like, the individual athletes. And obviously those two in particular, Tyson and Ali, that are, like, such iconic figures probably around the world. Because boxing's pretty international compared to some other sports, especially basketball at the time. I don't know what intrigues me about him. Ali, obviously, Ali's just so fucking funny to me. Every interview, he's
an absolute character.
Dude, he's literally like Vince Vaughn meets, like he's just so in there and he's so fucking quick with it. And then, like, counter to that, Tyson's almost like opposite.
I was gonna say he's like a bad imitation.
No, but some of that I find so charming. So he just gets out of jail. Not charming, because again, I'm gonna get canceled on this episode of what I find funny. But, like, he fucking is on stage and he said, "I'm gonna eat your ass, white boy."
Yeah.
Or he was having some kind of, like, mental breakdown on the stage. He's having a panic attack,
or who knows what they say to him. And I do understand the panic attack part, and it's obviously very good editing too, but they show a couple clips of him just in a crowd, and I can see it in his eyes. He's scared out of his mind.
Oh yeah, he starts, like, grabbing his head.
Yeah,
or
he's
looking around.
Yeah, he's looking around like kind of crazy, and I'm like, dude. And so I think that's maybe why I like Tyson. Besides the filter not being like me, some of that stuff I relate to. Like, there's little things in my day, and I've fucking gone to therapy for 25 years, but I'll catch myself. I'm like, dude, I just did that because of social anxiety. Like, I didn't. It's not a big deal, but I literally just did XYZ real quick because I was fucking anxious for no reason.
I needed to bail on something the other day and totally didn't do it. I had somebody recognize me at Home Depot when I was in line. There was a guy who worked at Home Depot, recognized me from the old days, the old show, whatever, and, like, he's entirely willing to back the line up behind me, and I don't know what to say at this point.
Yeah. I gotta go.
Yeah. And he's, like, talking to me about some supplement he's taking now. Whatever. Nice guy. That was not the issue at all. It's like it was not in the right place.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't have an overwhelming amount of social anxiety, but I do some in those circumstances, and I will become completely unable to speak for a period of time. It's like, what the fuck am I going to say? And, like, they're trying to remember to use a gift card and all this crap, and, like, help me, Spock.
Yeah, time kind of slows down.
I used to have really bad social anxiety growing up. Not sure why. Maybe, like, parents, divorced. It's like, who knows what triggers that shit. There's a million things. But I just, like, maybe with like self-confidence stuff or whatever. But then, like, it's so funny. Like, I felt like once no one would ever see it or know because I was always very social. But, like, that was, like, my defense mechanism for being socially awkward or socially, like, anxious. But then I would, like, going back to what you guys were saying about, like when people would, like, even like the early days of Caffeine and Kilos, or whatever, like, people would ask me about Caffeine and Kilos because, like, I would have, like, a shirt on or something, and then, like, I knew that they probably knew that I was, like, a part of it. Yeah. But I would just pretend like I just was just somebody that bought a shirt because I didn't want to talk about it.
I don't know, man. It's a cool coffee company.
That's exactly what I would do. I would basically just pretend like I just had nothing to do with it because I was, like, nervous to talk about it or something. It was weird. Yeah,
well, I'm like that too. Yeah, I'm still like that, and that is part of the facade that we put. That's kind of like what I'm talking about, where, like, Tyson has no filters. My filters are there. Yeah. Like, I'm not being fake, and I don't mean any harm by it. But yeah, like, I'll just rev up and I'll make a joke and I'll joke and I'll fucking wiggle my way around the socialness because I'm not social.
Yeah, it's hard to have a longer small talk conversation with somebody that you don't know at all, especially if they feel like they know you more than
100%.
you're ever going to know them.
Yeah.
And this is not to discourage people from like talking to us or whatever.
Right.
It's just like kind of know that we are not always on the footing to be able to engage with you the way we feel like we should.
Yeah, I just make
you
it
know.
up. I just make it up. Oh, cool, man. You deadlift? Sweet. Where do you go? Oh, sweet. You just fucking
Yeah.
trample. Small talk's just kind of
It's
annoying.
so funny. Yeah. But I've mastered it. I think we
Yeah.
all have.
Yeah, except
But
Mike
it's like-
Tyson hasn't. He's talking about eating assholes.
Yeah. He's
His
talking
insults
about,
too are just so backwards. There's some of them that I wish I could say right now.
Did they not do the eat your children one on there?
They did not.
No, I think
That
they
was
did.
his best one.
No, I think it's at the very end of that same speech.
On this in the middle of the ring.
No, on
That's
on,
where he said that one. He was in the middle of the ring.
the one
Yeah,
I think.
this other one says I'm gonna fuck you till you love me.
No,
Yeah.
no, they didn't do that one.
They did that.
Did they?
Yeah, they creep it in there and all of it.
I don't know how I missed that.
It's when he's like, it looks like a weigh-in type situation or like a press type of situation, and that's the same thing. He said, "I'm gonna eat your ass, white boy."
Yeah.
That's right.
Like, I don't know why. I just love that.
Yeah.
I really love that because that's like kind of a compliment.
Yeah. That's,
Nowadays, eating ass is totally cool.
That's cool now.
Yeah.
That's that song from the 70s that no one ever released. I'm gonna eat your ass,
Yeah.
white boy.
Yeah, that's like a fucking that's an offer.
Right after play that funky music.
You play that funky music, white boy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat
There's
your.
their sequel.
I'm gonna eat your ass,
It's on
white
the second
boy.
album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like giving the woman fellatio. It's kind of like why are you eating my ass?
followed
And
her
why is it
to-
violent?
I followed her into the bathroom and I gave a fellatio.
Yeah, put her on the counter.
Gave a fellatio.
It's so good.
And he said it so calmly, and he just has this
No,
stare.
it's kind of sexy when he says
And
it.
he's just like, oh man, I bet he was nice.
Yeah. That poor lady's parts. You know, I don't want his mouth anywhere near me.
That gold tooth. I'm kind of sad he doesn't still rock that gold tooth though.
All of it.
I've always wanted a gold tooth.
Even the you could do one. Even the tattoo.
I would look like an absolute criminal. with a
no,
gold
you
tooth.
look great. You look like
all
from
my
the
tattoos.
you look like the criminal from Home Alone.
Yeah,
Did I like fall asleep? I know I did because I toward the end of this thing it was a real struggle. But did I miss the part where he talked other than just about the Maori, about why he got the tattoo?
No, that's why the tattoo story's so good. There's no reason. His friend convinced him to do it and told him what he's going to do. He said I was going to get hearts. He wanted hearts on his face and said he's like he has no relation to New Zealand. He probably doesn't even know how to spell Maori, and he just fucking yeeted it on his face. I love it.
yeah. It was literally he said that it was about a warrior tribe that he liked, and that was it.
That was it. Yeah. Well,
Because I think you're only supposed to, and obviously there's always cultural rules, but TikTok's algorithm's so good and so weird sometimes. So like I'm dove deep into fitness now because I'm creating a lot of content there. But earlier, like you like 2 dog pictures and your whole thing's fucking dogs. But for some reason, this Maori tattoo crew hopped on my For You a couple months ago. And a lot of guys were explaining it, like it's kind of like the Haka vibe type shit. And they were saying like how you earn the tattoo and a certain age and what like I think what % Maori you're supposed to be because that's native New Zealand or whatever. And so like not everyone's supposed to get it. I don't think, and I'm sure they're not going to say anything to Mr. Tyson.
Who's
but
going to say it to Tyson?
Yeah,
like,
He's still
You
fighting
cult-
people
Yeah.
on airplanes
you
today.
cultural appropriator.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, actually that's just happened. We haven't talked about that, but
I
like
know.
he just like
fuck that kid though, or whoever the fuck.
Oh,
that
yeah, I
was,
mean, he
dude.
totally
I'm
had it
Team
coming.
Tyson. Yeah, I'm Team
on that,
Tyson.
dude, all day long.
'Cause
Like, I mean,
he
you can only
does-
take so much verbal abuse from anybody.
Yeah.
And you got a camera in your face. And you also got, this guy's a fucking loose cannon. The kid got exactly what he wanted from him.
Right.
And
And
then
they're
you look at that kid's rap sheet. He's like a fucking felon in like 3 states.
didn't
The
know
guy's a
that.
complete piece of shit.
Yeah,
the
and
kid
his-
was like an absolute.
his buddy's like hyping him and talking
Yeah.
about likes and views.
Dude
and
had
shit,
a rap
basically.
sheet 3 pages long.
Yeah,
yeah.
and you're
So
in
I
first
think you
class.
should punch the buddy in that.
Knock them both out.
Seriously.
Yeah, bite one's ear and knock the other one out.
You can tell it early if you watch like the full video. You can tell that he was like really trying to like de-escalate it,
Yeah.
and he was trying to like, all right, buddy, all right, okay.
Yeah, he sits
He
there
signed
for a long
something
time.
for him.
Yeah,
He
fuck
gave him
them.
an autograph.
Fuck them, dude. That's just like such like a little kid at a zoo situation. You're like literally treating him like this
He's
other
not a-
thing.
like he's not a human.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like you would never do that to anyone anywhere else. Like fuck you.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it sucks.
So something that we've sort of been dancing around here is the issue of in films and books and just other media, you talk about whether or not someone is a reliable or an unreliable narrator of what the story that they're telling. he is an unreliable narrator, I think, at least 50% of the time.
Oh God, yeah, you don't know what. Yeah, you're just watching this for pure entertainment value.
Yeah.
No,
You're not gonna really get anything out of this.
the only thing that I think is like so true, and this is like a little wonky philosophy, is that like you do get a really true narrative into his brain,
Yeah.
right?
I
So
would-
like you see his story from his head. And that's
Yes.
probably, and that's kind of what that shitty editing's about. But that's probably how he thinks. Again, like I think Dean's idea is right. Is like, Don King fucked me. That's a big piece of shit. Oh, Don King did buy me a kitty cat one time. He's kind of a nice guy. And you like see his thoughts flow through. And I think that's what I'm drawn to. I was like, damn, did you really get it? You get a good feel of who Tyson probably really is. There's no editing. There's no script.
Yeah.
There's no. You know what I mean? So, like, is it reliable in the sense of, like, to write a history book? No. But is it reliable in the sense that you really get a big dose of what Tyson's life was like and what his brain, like, sees things?
Either how he experienced it or how he remembers it.
Yeah. And that's what I like. I would rather have that than...
Definitely get that.
I would probably rather have that than a pure historical take.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
You
fair.
know? Because he's
I
like...
can't necessarily say that for myself.
Yeah.
I'm interested in how he perceived it and how he remembers it, but it would be also nice to know what actually happened.
Yeah, I mean, but even like the fights, like we said, like he's like, I blacked out. I think he was headbutting me. Then I'm bleeding. He's like, and then I just got mad. I was like, I love that description. It's just so matter of fact.
Yeah.
There's no fucking around. There's no, and I don't know why. I think that's rare, and that's probably why I enjoy it. And if we compare it to other documentaries we found, all these other documentaries like always try to find a hero or try to make everything perfect. It's like a Disney story. I don't like that.
This was far from perfect.
No, and he kind of admits it.
Yeah. I want to see that security cam footage of him beating the shit out of Don King in front of the hotel.
Yeah.
Because that has to
No,
exist.
for sure.
Yeah.
There has to be
Yeah.
a camera out there.
For sure. It's either Vegas or New York or somewhere, right? Where like there's cameras everywhere.
Oh, no, it was in front of the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's for sure.
Like, they have to have footage of that. And he said he kept stomping him out, and all he could think about was the old whites watching him do it and how they were looking at him as like an animal in his head. He's
Yeah.
like, I did it in front of these, old white people with money.
No, didn't he said something so inappropriate as well? He said like crispy old white people or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
His adjectives,
Exactly.
there's no better fucking describer than him.
Because
too.
they're so improvised on the fly.
And they're what a kid would say.
yeah.
They're what a kid, and a kid ain't gonna fucking
Crispy old whites.
Yeah,
Something like
it's
that.
something so outrageous, but it's literally what a kid would say. Like
Yeah.
a kid has no filters. A kid's not gonna try to like sugarcoat it. I honestly really love that.
He's a character, that's for sure.
But
That's
I
why
mean,
he's in movies.
if we're spitting this to the people that haven't watched it, yeah, I mean it's fucking slow. The gems are gems to me. Some
Yeah.
people might say I'm gonna eat your ass, white boy, and not even think about it twice. But he says that, and my head goes crazy. I'm like, he just told that white boy, I'm gonna eat your ass. Like that's
Like-
not an insult.
Like,
That's,
what would that feel like?
yeah, like it's just so weird.
Didn't he say he doesn't want, I'm going to put your mom in a straitjacket?
Yeah.
Put your mom in a straitjacket, white boy, or some
Yeah.
shit. It's like, I'll come up here. It's like, what?
Yeah, he said you can't. Yeah, you like can't comprehend what it's like to be me or something.
Yeah.
He's just going on like this huge thing. I'm like, holy cow!
At some point called himself angelic scum.
I
I think there was another
Yeah.
word in there that just went back by so fast that I didn't
Yeah.
have the patience
There's
to go
not
back
enough
and-
time to, because it goes on. There's just another thing coming. There's no
Yeah.
time to reflect on the most absurd thing you just heard.
No,
2
yeah.
seconds ago.
Every adjective he spits out in like a 3-minute thing is just gold for some reason to me. But yeah, it's slow. Like, so will the average person like really enjoy this? I don't know.
It's pretty short though.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half.
Hour and a
It
half.
flies by,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
I thought it flew by.
Yeah, I liked it. I really did.
Okay, so new on the show for the second time, we try to pick the moment, the wait what moment, the what the fuck moment for you in the whole thing. And we've talked about a lot of them,
Yeah.
so you might be just choosing your favorite at this point.
I think Order 66, unrelated, but because Anakin wasn't part of Order 66, I think it just happened at the same time.
No,
where-
he was. Totally
Oh, was he? Oh.
Yeah.
Well, either way. Oh, I guess he was.
Because he killed all the young ones.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, but I don't know if he knew like Order 66.
I don't
Is
know.
my point. You know, like
I don't know if it came in on the pager or what, but
no, they told him to go like handle the Jedi.
Yeah, he
But
wasn't like programmed.
That's
like,
what I'm
he wasn't
saying, like the
programmed like
bots.
the clones
That's what I'm
to
saying.
execute orders.
which is a lead in because fucking Obi-Wan's about to come, but beside the point. So
Yeah.
that's what I meant. Like, yeah, he's in on the bad, on the flip, but he's not Order 6060.
he was more briefed on it than like programmed to
Yeah.
execute it.
Right. So him killing the fucking younglings is kind of the pigeon head for me.
okay.
Like, that's when I know.
The catalyst.
Yeah, that's when it's like, oh, Tyson ain't gonna be good.
Like he snapped there.
yeah. That's
The
like
little
that.
hope he might have had.
Yep. And there's probably still good. There is still good in Anakin, right? He kills Emperor and all these things. Darth is, there's something in there. There's something in Tyson as well. It just took ayahuasca, I guess, to get it out. But he, that's kind of one of them. I'm like, oh fuck, like that's just one story, and there's probably other stories like that in his childhood that he has suppressed.
Potentially, yeah.
Because even when he's talking about like eating the white boy's ass and stuff, that was all after jail, and he says some weird things about jail without saying the things about jail. He's
All
like,
the weird shit that he saw.
yeah, and he was talking about, he's like, I wasn't scared, but like weird things are, he like kind of, that part he kind of gets vague. He talks about like, like people beating each other up and obviously sexual things, but he doesn't go into detail there.
Yeah.
I wonder if some of that really kind of fucked with him too.
Nobody is touching that motherfucker in there.
I don't know, because he even says, right, he's like, they have nothing to lose. They're going to be here for 100 years. Crazy things happen. I was like, I don't know. I wonder if they did or tried to.
He probably would have talked about it.
Maybe he would have killed. Maybe he killed the man in there.
He probably did.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not outside the realm of
Maybe
possibility.
a white boy tried to eat his ass and he killed him.
But I would assume though, in a prison situation, they were like probably huge fans. Of
Maybe,
Tyson.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
like
yeah.
so they were probably protecting him. Like
Yeah.
it was like when someone like him would go in there, you guarantee like his community's got his back.
Yeah, maybe.
In there, like
Or
for
even,
sure.
Even the officers in there and stuff, they might have been fans.
For sure.
Yeah.
He was like he was like the man.
Yeah, it's true.
That's back when the heavyweight championship was like the biggest thing you could be in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
At one point, right?
Yeah.
I guess the big oh shit moment. I guess I didn't realize how young he really started, and like the oh shit, like this dude was like destined for greatness in a way.
Yeah.
I didn't really know that much about Tyson's like young upcoming through like the Olympic system and all that, and just how dominant he was in that.
Yeah.
That was just more like surprising information I didn't know about.
Sure.
It wasn't like necessarily like this like oh shit like
Yeah.
that's crazy, but
It
I
was a
more-
little bit of a prodigy.
But it was like okay, like this all kind of makes sense, and like his demise and rise was like kind of how I already knew the story. I guess there was a lot I knew about this story, but that was one of the things that I didn't know.
For me, actually, it's sort of between two things. One of them was the moment. This is just a moment that he was talking. He was talking about wanting to have leeches
yeah.
suck his blood and then buy his blood back from them. I thought that was pretty weird and fucked up. I have no idea what the story is there. But the one that really got me was he's talking about he gave it just a little bit of money. It was like, a small amount of money, $20 or $30 million. Like, what?
Well, he said when he came out of jail, he had $200 million, and that's like after probably his peak.
Yeah.
So
he
like
was
at his peak,
Well, those are like he was making $70-80 million a fight.
yeah, plus
Back then.
sponsorships, plus who knows what, right?
He was making
Appearances.
Mayweather money.
Yeah.
But for the rest of us, $20, $30 million is not a small amount of
No,
money.
not even close.
Do you think that he was like saying that as in like how much he actually stole from me? I only got this small amount back. Because I think he
maybe
stole
so.
like hundreds of
Yeah.
millions of dollars
Yeah.
from him,
Maybe
and he only
so.
got 20 or 30 million out of that.
Yeah, potentially. The leeches.
Because Don King really like robbed this dude,
Yeah.
like big time.
Yeah. The leeches thing was interesting because it went back and forth from metaphor of people like Don to literal. And I still didn't understand either of them.
No, me either. Like, where was that going?
Yeah.
To piggyback on, I guess that oh shit moment is also like the way he describes like he can only live in the extremes.
Yeah.
The very, very top or at the very bottom, and he's not happy with just like the mediocre, like in the middle, normal, like like stability. And like I know people like that
For sure.
in my
Yeah.
life, and that was like, oh man, like I see that in some people I know. It's like they just can't.
It's a little like addict behavior.
Yeah, it's just like this like extremes, and Yeah. Also, I guess his criminal past, like, is robbing people all the time. Like, that was
I know.
interesting.
He said even while he was training with Gus.
Yeah, he would go
Yeah.
rob people in
Yeah.
New York and then go back and hide out. Like, that was like, oh shit.
Yeah. You just don't know any.
The dude could have easily been killed or locked
Yeah.
up, and all this never would have happened.
True.
Oh, it's crazy. Okay, well, for every show that every documentary that we cover here, we do a custom rating scale. And I thought about a number of them. I thought, fellatio on ladies, that'd be one.
Yeah.
Or bloody leeches that you're buying back. But it's,
How about pigeons?
I was going to go with face tats because that
Okay.
is kind of the most obvious Tyson thing. Is very prominently displayed on the cover of this film. And so let's rate this on a scale of 1 to 5 face tats.
I'll give it a 3.8.
Okay.
4.2, somewhere in that range. You know.
I'll give it a 3 face tats. It was just like it was just kind of jumbled.
Well, the issue is the story is a 30 billion out of a 10.
Yeah.
But the documentary is like a 3 out of 10.
That's
You know what I mean?
The actual story.
Mike Tyson's fucking the most interesting dude, on the planet, and his story is ever evolving. But the actual documentary, the only thing that makes the documentary in my eyes like a 4 out of 5 is because I think, and I've seen a lot of his documentaries, this is the longest he just sits there and talks.
Mm-hmm.
All the other documentaries are other people talking about it or different perspectives, which is cool. You get Don King's perspective and his ex-wife's perspective. This is literally just him rambling.
There was one quick thing I just for some reason really triggered me, is when they were showing like his highlight reel of like knockouts. They weren't doing them in like this. Maybe it's my OCD or something else.
Like
but
time.
They were jumping around the years.
They did it with his
yeah.
face tattoo. They went to his face tat and then they went back in time randomly, but they never gave you like a date or why they went over here. They did that a couple times.
They're showing the knockouts and the dates, and they're jumping around from like his later fights
Yeah.
to his early fights, and then it's just all back and forth. It's like, why would you not show that from the first to the last?
Yeah, there's no plan there.
There was no plan, and he was just talking about some nonsense in the background.
Yeah.
While they were showing these knockouts, but it was just like, it's like, can you please just put those in chronological order?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why was this decision made? That's why I give it a 3. There was just weird decisions like that came together.
Yeah, as a
to make
movie.
it like not
Yeah,
very
and
well done.
Yeah, and I think it was just like the overlapping cuts and stuff
Yeah.
was about making it seem edgy
Yeah,
and
or produced.
avant-garde and produced and
Yeah.
overproduced and whatever.
Which it didn't need to be because his story is
less
just so
is
good.
more.
Yeah,
Let the
sometimes.
story do the talking for itself. You know.
I
Yeah,
agree.
for sure. I'm gonna say 2 to 2.5. Yeah, there's like noise. We have.
What was that?
They're building apartments.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
They tore them down over there, and it's like every once in a while it gets really rumbly.
That was like a level 4 earthquake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You get like 3 a day.
yeah.
You get used to it.
Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
For sure. So that's kind of where I stand with it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I had trouble staying awake for the end of it. That's
It got like 8 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I know.
It's
Yeah,
pretty.
it's
It was
crazy.
well ranked on
Yeah.
Amazon.
Just because I think his actual like monologue-y interview is so good.
I love all the-
despite the movie being so bad.
I love all the fucking your standard ocean like beach walk
Yeah, shots.
stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
They have to. That's very 90s.
with
and
his
shit
hands
too.
in his pockets, you
Contemplating
know,
life.
thinking about all the people that he's robbed and all the women he's gave fellatio to.
Yeah. All the filthy women.
I'm
he
pretty
hangs out
sure
with.
that when he was
Lady-
walking that beach, he was talking about his animalistic approach to women,
Yeah.
yeah.
like him stalking them.
Yeah.
What you're basically telling us is that you are a violent stalker.
Yeah.
yeah. It's
No.
like yeah.
That's what that's like so weirdly innocently charming is like he's gonna tell you what's up. He's not hiding it.
He was calling other people sociopaths, and I'm like,
Yeah. Don. Yeah, he's talking about Don King, I think.
Jeez.
Poor guy.
anyways.
Hopefully ayahuasca helped him.
Yeah. Well, I'll probably never find out.
Yeah.
I'll probably never know.
Dean, shout him out, man. Where can people find you?
Oh, at Caffeine Kilos if you're for your coffee needs and wants and all that good stuff.
Well, CaffeineKilos.com.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, 3sb.co for all your apparel. 3rd Street Barbell, you know where to find us. 50percentfacts.com if you want to get involved. All episodes are posted there, but also our Discord is there if you want to get involved with the community. We'll catch you over there. New episodes every Wednesday and Friday. Thank you very much.
I am at the Jim McD on all the social media. This show It's 50% facts, where percent is a word and 50 is just numbers. And 50% Facts is a Spreaker Prime podcast in association with iHeartMedia on the OCN Obscure Celebrity Network. And we'll talk to you on Friday.